no respect, no honor. And when he
no
tried
fear.
to face him,
Yeah.
he make it like a boundary
Mm-hmm.
between love and a father and friend.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I believe this brother, he corrupted the relationship between his own son with kind of friendship,
Mm-hmm.
as a friendship. Plus, he did a lot of things, even haram, as he's a kid.
Yeah.
We're going to speak the question here, Brother Hashem. I write it down. So, what is the initial difference between a father, like his rules and regulation, and his own as not my, he considers his son like a friend,
Yeah.
friend and a father.
It's so hard because in this society, we
Give salam to everybody.
oh, salam alaikum. You're right. But in this society that we live in right now, it's so difficult to know the boundary of a parent and a kid and a friend. Right? There's like a boundary that we parents have to kind of set at the beginning, right? As our kids are growing up, as our kids are getting older. If you don't set that boundary up like early in the kid's life, they're not going to really understand that there's like a difference, right? You're going to lose like you said with the father. They're going to lose the honor. They're going to lose the respect. They're going to lose that I'm the parent, you're the child relationship if you don't set that boundary in the beginning of it all. And this boundary that we can make, it's so easy to kind of create it just through talking, right? The talking to our children, explaining to them, well, I'm the dad or I'm the mom. This is my house. This is how the rules work. If you're a Muslim, then we're going to live like Muslims. This is how we live as a Muslim family. This is what we're going to do. Don't bring in that haram stuff into this house. And understand that as you set that boundary, as they grow, that fear, the respect, the love, all that kind of stuff comes with the kid growing up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I didn't see a lot of respect to the parents at the present time. Not a lot, like whoever we visit even together, we visit.
Yeah.
We visit together.
the houses.
There's no kind of type of respect to the parents because they become his son or his daughter like a friend,
like a best friend, and they want to sit down with their kids and they want to have these conversations, and they want their kid, and the kids go out to the schools and they talk to their friends a certain way, and then they come home and they talk to their parents the same way they talk to their friends.
Exactly.
The disrespecting, the bra, the get out of my face, that this is, I could do my own thing. Let me be independent. I want to be by myself. Don't tell me what to do. I know how to live my life. I don't want to go to school. Like you start hearing those comments, those little banters from the kids, because they have no respect from that they have learned to have for the parents.
But how now to control this boundary, essential boundary between a friendship and a father or a mother, of course, mother or father. Normally, mom is more.
So when you're talking about, okay, so we said you got to start it at a young age, right? You got to start it when they're
young age.
Yeah, the young age. You got to do it when they're babies, when they're kids. We try to coddle them all the time and baby them and keep giving them stuff, and we give them stuff and we give them stuff, not realizing that we want to give our kids the stuff that we didn't have when we grew up, right? We want to give our kids everything that we didn't have because we don't want them to feel like they're missing.
Go back. Repeat this again. What I'm missing, I want to give it to my son.
Yeah, because growing up, we had to work to get to what we want, right? We had to work, we had to push, we had to struggle, right? And then we say, oh, I don't want my kids to struggle. I don't want my kids to feel like
they're blaming yourself.
Yeah, so I'm going to give them the stuff that we didn't have. Well, look what it did to you. That struggle that you went through
indeed
made you the person you are today. So if you're going to give your kids everything, where's the struggle? Where's the appreciation and the value that they're going to have something?
Allah, this is beautiful. No value, no respect, no honor.
No honor.
Yeah, it's really.
We forget that in this society that we live in, our kids are now really just kind of comparing themselves to what they see online. They're comparing their life to what other people are posting or showing or whatever. Explaining to your kids that this stuff is fake, that this stuff is not real, that this stuff isn't true. Understanding and really having that conversation with your kids at a young age, right? Teaching your kids at a young age.
The key is different now, young age and when we come even, especially go middle or high school,
Yeah.
completely.
So when
mentality even different.
The mentality changes. The mentality changes from middle school to high school. I don't think people realize the pressure from going from 8th grade to 9th grade. Right, going from the middle school, you're top of the class, you're in 8th grade, you're the big boy, to now you're in 9th grade, the small kid, compared to the 12th graders. Right, there's a big gap.
Comparison. To compare himself to the others.
Absolutely. Well, not just that, but maturity level. So now our kids got to grow up quick because they're in 9th grade and they see what the 12th graders are doing and how the 12th graders are acting. So they have to like kind of try to balance that maturity level. It's tough on the society right now that we have, the generation that we have right now. They're comparing, they're watching, there's so much bullying, there's so much trash talk, and instilling that parent-kid relationship is key to really putting that confidence in those children, building that confidence. If you're giving, the kid's not going to know how to build and struggle to get to what they want to get to.
Oh, I mean, if everything is simple and easy, there's no.
So then they don't have anything else to complain about other than the fact that, oh, now I'm driving this, but my friends are driving that. Oh, my kids are wearing these. The kids in my school are wearing these brand new shoes, and I'm wearing this.
You just mentioned in the beginning, our era, our time.
Different.
For example, if I tell
your time is different than my time. Just remember.
Yeah, because you're born here in America. Yeah. And actually, although Americans too, but I born actually in occupation with no electricity in that time.
Oh, you were struggling.
When I tell my mom, no,
what happens?
My father had a عكاز. What's عكاز in English? The cane. Ibrahim, go to your room. That's it. I never say no. Yeah. And I learned a lot of kids, mom or dad, no.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's the kind of negativity affecting the parents.
Yeah.
Or I'm wrong.
No, and you don't. And so a lot of times when we go into these houses and we see these things that we see, a lot of times when you see that happening, you see either the father who is like very passive and quiet and like calm, and the mom is the one that's trying to be the disciplinary, the head of the household, the controller. And so the roles have changed in those houses where the mom has to be the one that's the coddler, the lover, the compassionate, the empathetic, and the dad has to be the one that's the aggressive one, the assertive one, to show those kids, this is your mom. This is how you talk to your mom.
Indeed.
Right? Yeah. You don't talk to your mom this way. We always say paradise lies beneath the feet of your mother, right?
Yeah.
So if we're not instilling those values at a young age, and the father isn't really pushing that assertiveness on those kids, and understanding that I'm your dad, not your friend. You talk to your friends like this. That's your mom, not your friend. You talk to your friends like that, not your mom. If you don't start that at a young age, then you're going to start to see, as the kids get older, when they go into 8th grade, it's usually right after they hit 8th grade, like right when they hit 9th grade. When they go into the high school and they start seeing and hearing and thinking all the other kids are seeing and talking, they're hearing all these things, and they're seeing how those kids are talking to their parents. That's when the kids think, oh, well, he talked to his mom like this. Let me talk to my mom like this.
But that's beautiful. What about you, young age? What about 17 and 18?
So if you
still they live with their parents.
Of course. I mean, listen, we're Muslims. We don't believe in that. My kid's 18 years old, and
I agree. But we are, as American, and I believe many countries watching us right now. What is that is become actually not 17, mature. Mentality change, the relationship between the father and mother change, the relationship between the other people change, especially now in America in public school.
Well, because we're putting Islam and we're trying to fight society, like Islam, the society that we live in.
Yes.
Right. Yes. Islamic values and societal, big issues. So
it's a big gap.
It's a huge gap. And when we talk about Islamic values, especially when we talk to like some of the kids, oh, it's boring. You guys don't understand. You guys are old school. You guys don't get it. But Islam 1400 years ago answers the problems that we're having today. right? Like it's common sense.
No, repeat it to everyone, please. It's very important.
It is very important.
Please.
And when you explain to the kids, Islamic knowledge, Islam itself really answers all the problems we have today.
The book of Allah.
The book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, it explains to you, these are why we don't do what we do. You know, we have the rules. And we always say, you know, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put the reasons for everything in the Quran, you'd have like a, you know, mashallah. But then you put common sense together. So when you explain to the kids, this is why we don't do drugs. This is why we don't drink. This is why we don't, you know, go dating. This is why we don't go out at night. This is why when you explain little by little the Islamic values, then you start to see like what we see on social media all the time where people are posting all these videos of themselves doing these fun things and having all this excitement. And our kids see this and they get like, you know, I want to do this. I want to have this. But these things were going on back in our time. And we stayed away from it.
It's a crime too.
It's a crime, but we stayed away from it, knowing that if you put yourselves in these situations, and I try to explain to the kids all the time, if you put yourself in these situations, bad things are going to happen. I'll give you an example. I had a kid that I was working with years ago. Mashallah, he was a 18-year-old Muslim kid. He got a charge on him. Okay, he got a charge of possession of marijuana charge. Not a big charge, but he had a chance to get his he came to me, I need some help. I said, okay, work with me, and I'll tell the judge to, you know, you did a good job, and we'll take away the charge.
Really?
Yeah, it's a program that most counties have. If you get a little charge on you, we give you a second chance. And he had the ability to, he's such a smart kid, mashallah. He had the ability to go to University of Florida to go to the medical school. But he had this on his back, this charge.
Yes.
So the medical school won't take you. I said, just deal with me. Let me help you out, and we'll transfer you over to University of Florida, the county, and you do the rest of your stuff there, and you go to college. Had everything lined up for the kid. And I told him, I'm from a decent family, mom and dad, good wealthy family. I told the kid, just stay away from the people you're hanging out with of your past. Just stay away from them for the year that you're, you know, 6 months, and then you'll see, we'll get you together. And he did. He stayed away from everybody for months and months, 2 months, 3 months. Mashallah, he was doing really well. Got a phone call from one of his friends in Miami.
It
was one of his old friends. Hey, listen, I'm drunk. I can't drive. Can you come pick me up?
Oh.
The kid drove from where he's out, going to Miami, was on 95, and got a head-on collision with somebody else who was drunk and died. And I said, you know, all I kept saying was stay away from the people that your old friends. Stay away from your old friends, and you'll see your life changing for the better. You know, and he was changing, but he took that one phone call from a friend that he hasn't spoken to in months.
Ya Allah.
And then this happened. And you know, we try to explain to the kids, like, I get it, like a lot of our kids and our youth, please, you know, I know they always think we're old and you don't know, we know better, and you know, we're the kids now, we're the next generation, we know better than you guys. We have experience.
Actually, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the hadith actually in Bukhari and Muslim, said the difference between al-salih, the righteous son, and the corrupted son, like a perfume, when I have a perfume or misk, normally I smell it, or I put in something good, the benefits. But al-fasid, like a charcoal, even you cannot even smell it. In the same time, you cannot touch it. That's exactly our kids. Rasulullah told us in the hadith. But really, that's serious. Wallah, this kind of sad story.
It's sad. It's sad because, you know, we Muslims, like if you look at the language of Arabic language, and you look at the Quran, there's so much science behind it. There's so much truth behind it.
Yes.
That people, non-Muslims, will say, if you're a Muslim, you have a better chance of being successful. Non-Muslims will say this, because you have more of a capacity to hold knowledge better, to understand more. Like, it's weird. Even non-Muslims scientists will say these things. And so when you see non-Muslim scientists saying these things about Islam, and we're Muslims, how come we're not taking advantage of the situation of being a Muslim?
So what is the advantage? Unfortunately, not ever. The key, actually, with all my respect, brother and sister, is the parents.
It's the parents, okay, but we blame the parents, but there's a certain point in also a kid's life, 17, 18, 19 years old, where they know right from wrong. As parents, we can teach and we can educate. And even if you've already blurred that line between friend and a parent, you can bring that back, right? You can always change what you've been doing.
But how?
So
it's not easy.
It's not easy. And the biggest thing, and this is for everybody out there, is consistency. Right, being consistent with how you're going to change, and it's not like it's a dial you're trying to switch off slowly,
one by
one. You know, like you're just turning down the flame of what you've done really slowly, and it's consistent. I'm not your friend, man. I'm your dad. I'm not your friend, man. I'm your mom. You know, and talk to me in a different way. You're not going to get any advice from me. I'm not going to help you until you understand.
Go back to helping you
with whatever life's going to throw at these people, because our kids now are going to be going through a lot. They're going through a lot of stuff right now.
Yes.
There's a lot of peer pressure. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of, I looked at the stats the other day about TV watching, right? TV watching compared when it was back in our days compared to what it's now, right? From the year, I think the stats were like from 2010 till 2025, and how people just stopped watching TV. Nobody's watching TV like they used to watch. What are they doing? Social media.
Yeah.
So they get their news, they get their information, they get in their hands. So they're not watching TV anymore. They're watching social media, 30 seconds, 2 minutes of clips. And if you're not really explaining to the kids, this is fake, this is not real, this is not true, this is what Islam says.
Even when I travel in the airplane, especially kids with this big yeah. And the parents in different world bother everyone, and not only one actually travel the kids bother everyone and hitting the lady in front and said, your son, I want to just relax longer term. I said, he's a child.
Yeah. So they want you to stop complaining that the kid is making the trip harder for you.
Honestly, if this is behind my back or next to me, I will make uprising.
Yeah.
Actually, the one in front of me, the rednecks. I stood up, and he got, oh my God, it was uprising in the airplane. And said, this woman, and her son in the back. And everybody agreed.
Yeah. See?
Everybody agreed that the pilot came. The two pilot. The pilot came. Ma'am, you'll go on back.
And see, we don't understand that. We're giving the power of raising our children to an iPad. I mean, we went years and years and years telling us when we're being raised, don't talk to strangers, don't. And then we're just saying to our kids, here, you're 4 years old now.
The whole world in your hand.
Yeah, talk to all the strangers you want.
Yeah.
And let somebody else rub you.
You're right.
Yeah.
Brother, this is very important point here. No stranger, no, be careful, because now this iPad, the whole world, the corruption world in your hands.
And we say, okay, as
Allah.
long as my kid is quiet for 2 hours, let them do whatever they got to do for 2 hours. Let them play whatever games, let them watch whatever they want to watch, and it's okay. But then when you have that kid that's been 4 years old, 5 years old, now 8 years old, now 10 years old, all they know is this iPad. And so when you want to start being a parent, but you haven't been a parent for 10 years or for 5 years or for 6 years, and then you get mad that your kid's not listening to you.
Brother and sister, if you have this in your house, judge yourself before Allah will judge you, before your son will judge you. First of it, do not lose it. May Allah guide our kids. So now the potential actually negative between the two, that extreme friendship and the tough and love. What is the difference?
So the biggest issue that you're going to have when you're talking about blurring the lines between parenthood and friendship and all this stuff is that you're going to have now a kid who's going to be 25, 26, 27 years old wanting to get married, right? Wanting to get married. And he's not going to know, or she's not going to know how to be
a
father or a mother, because they have you as their
baby.
Well, they were watching you.
Yeah.
They were watching how you were treated, how you were and then think about it. When you were raised, when you were being born, you were saying to ourselves, we struggled, we gave our kids everything. And now that kid that you gave everything to, what's he going to do with that kid?
Yeah, exactly.
He's gonna say, "Oh, I struggled." He can't say he struggled, or she's not gonna say that. So she's gonna say, "I'm gonna be more of a friend to my kid than my parents were a friend to me." And then the cycle is just gonna continue and continue and continue.
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna have a bunch of kids, a bunch of people that are being brought up in the world, not understanding how important it is to be that mom or to be that father, to be that person. Because what I tell the kids all the time is, nobody's gonna care about you more than your mom and your dad. Nobody.
I like that. Okay. So now what العلاج العملية the steps
when you realize that you messed up.
Yeah, when I feel that okay,
Yeah.
I was wrong.
I was wrong. I did
But
something.
the key, I have to admit I'm wrong.
That's really when we come into the play, like when we come into the houses,
Mm.
and it's like you explain to the parents, you guys did this wrong. You guys are doing everything wrong. And it's kind of like when you get that one or two parents that actually listen to what you're saying and following the guidance that we give them, you can start to see how things actually start to get better. Right? We have
if they listen.
If they listen.
At the same time, the relationship with the couple relationship good, especially in front of the kids.
Well, one of the things I've really always pushed with parents, especially when there's couples, mothers and fathers, is that we push so much emphasis on our kids that we forget about each other. Right? We push our kids. We want to make our kids smart. We want to make our kids do the best. We want to give everything to our kids that we forget about us. That we realize, we have to start to realize that our kids are going to eventually get married and they're going to move on. And then it's just going to be the husband and the wife in their homes. So if you're basically now putting your whole effort and everything in your life just for the kids and you're forgetting about each other, when they leave, you're going to look at each other like, okay, what do we do now?
Yeah. Actually, a story a few months ago, not actually this month, a man have 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl.
Mm-hmm.
The 3 boys respect the father very much. That he spoiled his daughter so much. He spoiled her.
Of course, that's what we do for our daughters.
Maybe. And now she's become rude to his father, not the boys.
Yeah.
But how to fix it?
Because when we have girls, we always want to put our, especially dads, we do that all the time with our girls. That we baby them, we coddle them, we don't know. We always blur that line with our daughters. Right, as from the father to the friend type thing. So we, as parents, have to start to kind of pull back a little bit and say, okay, let me not answer the phones, or let me not constantly call, and chase that person, chasing, because that person's looking at that phone. That kid's looking at the phone like, I'll answer it tomorrow. I'll call him later. Like we grew up thinking this might be the last phone call you'll ever get. You don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow.
But this girl actually. In our area, why she become, when I speak to her father, speak like friend, by the way, that this friend here the father become a really friend.
Yeah.
Speak with nasty language.
It all depends on who she's surrounding herself with and what's going on in their lives, right? So if we don't have that conversation with our kids, especially when our kids move out, right? We have this tendency to live in a country like in the Western country, thinking that, okay, we have the Western mindset, 18, 19, I'm going to go out in the world and do my own thing. I've learned everything that I need to learn from my mom and dad. No, you've never learned enough. Right? And and even for me, in my age, I still ask my mom for advice. I still go to my mom every day and say, hey, I need some help. What do you think I should do about this? What do you think I should do about that? But we've kind of grew up with that boundary of my mom is my mom, not my friend.
In fact, I don't have mom now.
Mm-hmm.
I have 5 sisters.
In Gaza. You got 5 moms.
When I have something immediately, I call my sisters to give advice.
Of course, absolutely. But we see it a lot. We see where the parents blur that line and then they want to catch back up. But I always tell the parents, you have to start first with admitting that you did something wrong.
And the key,
you have to admit it and really look at what you've been doing and saying, okay, brother Mohammed or Sheikh Ibrahim, they told me this, and this. Let me start to make these little changes.
Listen, brother and sister, it's very good actually to judge yourself. Whether I do this or not. Don't say, oh, my way or the highway. There's no one.
It's not about my way or the highway. It's about what you've been doing for the last 5, 7, 12 years. Hasn't been working.
Then jump to something.
Then jump to something else. Try something else. Look at what you've been doing. Okay, well, I gave him the world. I gave him this. I gave him that. Well, Now he's going to call you and say, Baba, I need $50. I'm going out to dinner with my friends. No. Say no. No, I'm sorry. You're not going to get the $50 for you to go out with your friends. Why $50? We have food in the house. So little by little, you're going to start to see, well, Bobby, you always give me $50. Well, not today. I'm sorry. I don't have the $50 for you.
Yeah, but actually, also the era right now when we watch a lot of family problems, especially for the youth, especially with this cell phone.
We can do a whole topic, a whole presentation about just what social media is doing to the families, right? Social media has such a big impact on parents.
Let's prepare ourselves maybe next week or a week after. Let's speak about this.
Yeah, it's
in fact,
thing.
This week I'm here. The following week I'm in South Carolina, and the following week I'll be in New York. But Tuesday I'll be here. In the weekend, different state. Okay. Now, كيف يمكن تحقيق التوازن like between realize between to be tough.
Well, we kind of talked about that a little bit of like, how to start that process.
Yes.
Right.
But we need step by step for everyone to watch.
So
watching. Yeah.
We said first and foremost is seeing that there's a problem.
I have to admit I have in the house a problem with me or with my kids or
both.
I mean, in the household.
There's a problem in the house, right? If your household is constantly anger, fighting, and you're constantly can't sleep at night, you don't know what's going on, you don't know what your kids are doing, you don't know what's happening. If you're constantly thinking about all these things, then there's something wrong in your house. You should be able to put your head at night on your pillow after Isha prayer and go to sleep with no stress.
That means if I have some kind of sickness, I choose the kidney problem, for example. I have to get a specialist for heart problem, for cardiology, and so on and so on, right? Yeah. So I have to find the disease in the house.
Absolutely.
To treat it. But if I don't know,
then if you don't know, then there's something wrong with you.
I like that.
Because you should be the person that knows what's happening in your house. It's your house. There's no way that a person doesn't know that there's a problem in their house.
But if I convince myself I have a problem, the problem is my wife.
Then you're not going to get anything fixed. If you can't, because we see that a lot, where parents or husbands and wives blame each other, right? It's her fault because of this. It's his fault because of this. And then we come into the house and we say, it's both of your faults. You both are messing up. How many times
go back? That means we visit the house. We speak to fix. We came just to fix the problem in the kids. Then I found out
it's the parents.
The parents.
Both.
Then I have to tell the parents. Absolutely. The problem is you, not
the kid.
Then, it's a lot of parents, especially for I'm a man.
Yeah.
So, are you crazy?
Yeah, we don't want to take the hit. We don't want to be
the blame.
Yeah, we don't want to take the blame, and we don't want to be told that we're doing something wrong. Us men, we know everything. We know how to raise a kid. We know how to raise a family. We know this is the way my dad did it. This is the way my dad's dad did it. My dad. My dad taught me. I never taught my kids this. My dad never taught me about this. Well, we're in a different time.
Oh, you know, we're at 2025 now.
Yeah, we're in 2025. We're not in 1985. We're not in 1970.
I like that.
We're in 2025 where we're competing now. We're competing with society. We're competing with the social media. We're competing with all the information.
Raising, you mean?
Yeah, we're
raising.
Who do you want raising your children? You or society?
Or school?
Or school or social media. Like, so when you start to realize that you're in competition now, a parent is in competition with school, social media, their friends, the peer pressure. Us parents, we're in competition with them. We have to compete with all that. We have to put in our kids strength, confidence, self-resilience, and they have to understand that we are Muslims and be proud of that, right? And because when you push that, when I push these on these kids and explain to them, listen, you guys are all 8th graders. You're going to go to 9th grade. And you're not going to Islamic school. Most of you guys now are going to go to the public schools. Remember, first and foremost, you're a Muslim. You're going to see stuff in that school that Muslims don't do, that you've never seen in these Islamic schools.
Yeah.
right? And so when you go to these public schools, remember first and foremost that foundation that you have for the 8 years that you're in Islamic school. That's a foundation. That's a strong foundation. Be proud of that foundation, and don't let anybody crack that. And so you'll see a lot of kids after they leave. And I saw a couple of the girls that I've talked to in the Islamic schools. They're in the 11th grade now. And they'll tell me, brother, you were absolutely right. As soon as we got to these schools, we saw crazy stuff.
Yes.
Crazy stuff. I said, what did you do? They said, well, we took your advice. We went to the Muslim organizations. We joined the Muslim clubs, and we just hung out with our own people.
Brother and sister, really important here. All the state, if I have 50 states in America, every society is Muslim. There is an Islamic school.
Absolutely.
Even we have in a masjid a group, MSA, MSO. Be part of this.
Yeah.
By the way, it's not only university. When I came to America, we have MSO.
Mm-hmm.
We have after that, we have a school now. We have a masjid now. We have everything. The key, encourage your kids, your daughter, to go to MSA, Muslim, or the MSA in the school and university.
Or if they don't have one, start it.
Allahu Akbar.
Start it.
Yes, if they don't have, start it. I like that.
One of the things that I've always told our kids is Islam teaches leadership. Islam is all about being that leader.
Yes.
When they talk about TikTok and Instagram and they say, oh, I follow this guy, I follow this guy. Stop following people and follow Islam.
Following the teaching of Rasulullah is the key.
And when you explain to them, like, because they always say, oh, Islam is old, they don't know what they're talking about. Well, Islam, again, I tell these kids, when you understand the intricacies of Islam, I'm not a scholar, I'm not a sheikh, that's why we do this together. When you really grasp the concept of how Islam kind of increases your knowledge, it increases your stamina, increases your strength, it increases your confidence. Once you understand that as a kid growing up, you start to say, you won't be shy to say, no, I don't go to bars because I don't drink. I'm a Muslim, I don't drink. I don't go to clubs because I'm a Muslim, we don't drink. Like, you will be confident enough to say, I've said those things growing up in Florida all the time. I'm sorry, guys, I'm a Muslim, I don't do these things. Well, what does being a Muslim have to do with this? Well, I don't drink, I don't go clubbing, I don't do these things because I'm a Muslim.
The key, Shaitan always play with the Muslims, especially the Muslims.
Of course.
To leave the Islam, to control their heart.
Absolutely.
In fact, when I came to America in 1988, the first one was Florida International University. And the moment I arrived, a stranger, and not only that, some kind of a show to be naked.
Yeah.
I even not only that, we actually a lot of university we go on a field trip. We go not field trip. We have as a geologist, we go to the mountain with male and female. Everybody knows Ibrahim is a Muslim. I do my job, and they do the other fun. Even companies in America. The key, I have to control my desire.
Absolutely.
The hawa, and Allah insult the desire in the Quran. Insult. I mean, the hawa from the shaitan, the hawa, the desire, and hellfire. And Allah بتكسر. كيف يمكن تحقيق التوازن بين الصحيح والحزن والمحبة بين والتربية والتطابق العاطفي.
We already kind of
but how?
It's when we talk about kind of starting to draw that line with our kids, it's very difficult to do something that you should have done years ago. Right. It's
like example. It's really important for everyone to watch.
So when we talk to parents, when we sit down with the moms and dads, and when we listen to what goes on in the house, right? Some of the things I tell the parents is, let me just come in and listen and hear what's going on, and I'm not gonna say anything.
No, we just want to listen more.
We just want to listen and see. I think a lot of people in the families, in the households, the moms and the dads, they don't do that. They don't just listen to see what the kids are saying, what the kids are hearing, and what the kids are, how the kids are talking. I was talking to one of the parents. There's a real power in the words, right? I think we had a talk about this last time about the power of words and how we say things. And there's a lot of power in listening to what your kids are saying and how they're saying things. somebody like me who listens to social media, who watches social media I do that. That's my job. I watch all these things and see all these things. I can start to hear little things that my kids will say. And then, hey, I saw that video that you just talked about. And let me tell you why that's not right, or how is that fake, or how that is. Like, I keep up with it just because it's my job and I do that for my work anyway. But I'm able to really listen how the kids are talking to each other,
And
analyze it, and say, okay, let me show you how that's AI or how that's fake, right? And let me show you that there's nobody that happy all the time. Or the biggest one I love is when the kids tell me, I have a guy that I'm following on TikTok and he's showing me how to make $1 million.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And the parents are looking at the kid like, are you an idiot? And so I have to explain to the kid, hey man, listen, do you really think that this guy who's making $1 million is going to show you how to make $1 million? Or he's going to try to keep that secret to himself?
Yeah, you mentioned this before. I agree with you.
And it's amazing that, the kids the parents don't really know how to explain to the kids how I'm explaining it to them. I mean, the kids will say to the parents, he gets me, he understands. Brother Muhammad, he comes in here, he understands what I'm saying. And the parents are just like, bro, I say the same thing. I say the same thing. No, you don't. It's the way you say the things to your kids.
Agree. Right? Yeah.
So listen to how I'm talking to your kids. Listen how I drew that boundary as soon as I walked into the house. When I shake the kid's hand, from the moment I shake the hand of a kid, you grab it, you squeeze, give it a little squeeze, you show them who is the dominant person.
Yeah.
Right? Little things like this that parents are, it's not a big deal. It's just a handshake. No, it's a big deal. When you shook my son's hand, what was the first thing you noticed?
What?
When you shook my son's hand.
Oh, it's tough, mashallah.
Because I taught the kid, when you shake a zalaman's hand, a man's hand.
Yeah. The opposite, some people would, I don't mention name, school of thought.
Yeah.
Do you say salam?
Like a little, No.
Actually, regardless, male or female,
you have to
salam,
you have to have
like this.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter, male or female. My daughter was the same way.
But some sister actually, I didn't shake hand. Even my wife will shake hand at this point.
and see, these are the little things that you can start to do. It doesn't matter how old the kid is, 17.
Regardless, 18, I agree with you.
But these are the small steps that you take when you start to see, well, man, my kid is talking to me like a friend. He doesn't see me he has no more respect for me. Little changes that you can start to make will really start to
listen to this statement.
Little changes,
and then
we'll start to make little steps. We'll start to make big changes.
I agree with you. I mean, especially when it becomes middle school or high school or 17 or 18, there is no way to boom.
No.
Now, step by step. But the key also, something very important. Rasulullah, our example, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam came from Quraysh, people non-Muslim. They argue with Rasulullah. They say, oh, do, speak. What Rasulullah did? He never replied back. Rasulullah, he listened, and he listened. And after they finished, did you finish? They say, yes. Did you finish? 3 times, did you finish? انتهيتم. And then he speak, Prophet Muhammad, with what? Very low voice. And I learned this when I met Sheikh Al-Albani, Nasruddin Al-Albani in Jordan once, 1999. When I met the Sheikh, people came from Lebanon to argue with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So it's Sufi, 11. Actually, this book here, those 3. And then Sheikh Al-Albani did that just like Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He listened, and he smiled. And he asked a friend, هل انتهيتم? Did you finish? Rasulullah did the same. I said, نعم. هل انتهيتم? نعم. Did you finish? Yes. And then الآن أتكلم وأرد عليك. Now I speak, I reply. Very normal. But, and he said, لقد سمعت, I heard you. Now you listen to me. And when they jump, and what they said, حتم. We have an agreement.
Yeah.
He teaching those people to become Muslims again.
But also he's teaching them how to listen.
The key, listening between parents also, between husband and wife, is the issue, brother.
See, if you notice too, a lot of times our kids, they don't like silence. when they're having a conversation or they're talking back to you or they're going and going and going, and then you're going back with them and then they're going back with you, and it's a back and forth, I always kind of try to tell the parents, just stop. Let him say what he's got to say. Because a lot of times the kids don't hear what they're saying.
You agree?
They don't hear what they're saying. So if you're going to go back, they forgot about what they said 2 seconds ago. Stop. Give the kid, let the kid yell, let the kid scream. Let the kid hear how dumb he sounds, and you're not going to respond to it. Because, and I tell the parents all the time, I was sat in the house for, how many times do we sit in the house for an hour or 2 hours?
Yeah.
And you hear, they're fake for 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, they're fake with us. They want to act all nice because we're there. But then after 20 minutes, the truth starts to come out. And so I always tell the parents, shh, let him say his thing. Yeah. And as the kid's yelling, well, then he starts to talk lower, and you start to see him going down his tone because nobody's responding. He's looking for the response. She's looking for the response from the parents, so they can go back and forth.
Back and forth. That's fair. It's fair.
And so if you've been doing this for years, if you're going back and forth with your kid for years, it's wrong. You're doing it wrong. Now I'm telling you, here's a word of advice. Don't go back and forth with your kids. You're the parent, not their friend. And you stop the conversation. Let them go. Hey, are you done? Are you finished? Is your temper tantrum over? Did you calm down? Yeah. Okay. Now it's my turn. And you'll start to see a nice big change in the way the conversation is being.
The thing, I have to control my passion, my anger,
yeah,
to speak to my kids.
Yeah.
And also husband and wife.
The same has to go for the husband and wife. We always forget that we have to be, as husband and wife, we're going to be the ones going upstairs and laying next to each other. We're the ones that are going to be in the house by ourselves when the kids get married or the kids go off to college or the kids move out. We're going to be the ones. We're going to be the ones left. So if we're not on the same page and we're not doing things the right way, what's going to happen after the kids leave?
That's really serious problem here.
It's a big problem. Yeah. You know, wives are unhappy. Dads are unhappy. They go their separate ways. They get divorced after the kids leave the house.
In fact, when the kids leave the house, a relief. Yeah. A lot of kids are relief.
Yeah.
Complete opposite. Also, some kids are attached to the parents because they grow up like this.
Because they grow up like this.
Yeah.
And so you have to ask yourself, when the kids leave, when your kids get out of go and they go do their thing, are you happy or are you sad that they left?
Mostly, you're sad.
You're supposed to be sad.
Yes.
You know, you're supposed to be feeling some type of
happy at the same time. I'm gonna leave my son, my daughter. Yeah.
But there's a balance, right? Yeah. We're happy that they're gone. We're happy that they're moving on. We're happy that they're getting married or whatever. But we're also feeling emptiness because now that person that's been there, I've been their father, I've been their mother, I've raised them, and the kid too. The kid should have that feeling of I miss my mom, I miss my dad.
So I'm going to ask Brother Mohammed for advice, but before the advice, did you give advice for everyone watching us here, please? Normally, if I get married, to have kids, I have a family. Mm-hmm. I get everything from my family. But don't forget, male or female, father or mother. Sooner or later, you become disabled. You are home. You are home. If your son, your daughter, not really going to take care of you in the future, you failing completely. Yeah. You have to prepare. You make the seeds in the heart of your son, your daughter. If I become old or sick, you're going to take care of me. It's amana.
Yeah, the same way you took care of them when they were babies.
Exactly. Plus, for the husband and wife, it's very important, brother and sister. Also, some husband and wife, they have something in the past, and they repeat themselves repeat the same story again and again and again. It's to repeat what happened before more and more and more, you losing the love and respect between the couple. And the same story with the kids also. The same story. You did that again. And he did something. Forget, have a new page, to have a new life, a new love, respect, and honor.
There's a saying, somebody always asks me, we never fight. What if parents never fight? What if we never have any arguments in the house? What if we're always good with each other? There's no arguments. There's no fighting.
Impossible.
That's impossible. Then somebody's lying.
Yeah, Rasulullah and his wife,
Yeah.
and Aisha and Safiya, and they make a plan against Rasulullah. I agree with you. The key, we have problem, but in the same time, we have to fix it before you break your own heart.
Well, we have a tendency, I think mostly men, we have a tendency to kind of keep everything inside.
Agree.
Right? We don't like to talk about all the problems or all the issues. And, I tell them, we do like men's conversations and talks just to men's about, the responsibility, the role of a man, right? The role of a father, the role of a son, the role of a brother. We talk about these kinds of things just to the men a lot of times. And it's the way to converse with your wives about the issues that you have in a way of making sure that you guys are on the same page all the time.
It should be.
It should be. And if you're not saying and talking and you're just keeping everything in, eventually it's gonna spill out and it's gonna explode. And then your wife or your family's gonna say, "Oh my gosh, what's wrong with him? Why is he like this? Why is he acting like this? Why is he, he's becoming such a bad man. He's a bad guy." But you don't understand the guy has been going through whatever he's been going through for 5, 10, 15 years and just keeping it all inside. And he just couldn't handle it anymore.
Agree, especially men.
Especially men. We have that problem.
Especially men.
We grew up in a society that says men are not allowed to have feelings. Men are not allowed to.
We should have feelings.
Well, we have them.
Yeah.
And it's not. And I'm not saying go and cry and and do this.
In fact, to keep it more, that the sickness.
Yeah.
You become like heart problem, brain problem.
What do we see? We see a lot of the men. What do they do now when they get older and the kids get older? They go to the kahwa, they go to the gila shops, they go hang out with these guys, and then you hear some of the conversations. They're talking about their wives, they're talking about their kids, they're complaining to each other about these things. And I say, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be going to the other men and talking about your wives and your kids.
Because sometimes I see that actually. I don't know when. In the area here.
Yeah, in here.
Yeah. And they always complain, my wife. But at the same time, fix it in your household before you go to have opinion from a person who have a problem.
Who have problems. And then you don't understand that person that you're complaining to is probably looking at your life and saying, "Man, I wish I had that problem," or "I wish," giving that envy, giving that jealousy, giving that evil eye without even knowing that.
Normally, after conversation with this, especially kafir, shab, and this, and they go home, make it worse. Why? Because he hears a lot of stories.
Yeah.
So my point, brother and sister, we have to make our household a castle. And this sealed castle,
Oh, you're planting the seed?
No, what is it? The castle have a lot of guards.
Yeah.
Guards. The guards, maharimillah. But Allah ordered us not to publicly and this.
Yeah.
But problem, yes, fix it. But also at the same time, you have to understand the problem to fix it.
Well, you have to understand that there's a problem. You have to admit that there's a problem. And then you have to, if you try to fix the problem, and if you can't fix it on your own, you have to call somebody.
Indeed.
Who can really who can really kind of sit down with you as a family and say, "These are the problems. And let me tell you how to fix this problem." And then if you just can stay consistent with what we're trying to do as a Muslim woman, one of the problems that I think we always have is that we kind of just see people with problems and we want to kind of distance ourselves from those people. Like, I have a daughter. I would never let my daughter marry that guy because that family has all these problems. Or the family with problems will say, "I don't want to tell anybody because if anybody finds out my daughter has these problems, nobody's going to want to marry her." We have this mindset it's such a messed up mindset. When you look at the other faiths who help each other, who bring each other up, who help each other kind of become better in the society, they're doing what Islam says to do.
Yeah, absolutely. In the Quran, everything.
But the Muslims don't do what the Quran says to do.
Not everybody.
Want for your brother what you want for yourself.
That Prophet Muhammad told us the key. Not everybody. Some people memorize the Quran but not understand the Quran.
Well, there's a difference between memorization and understanding.
Indeed.
Right.
But Allah ordered us. Allah said, وَلِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِ. Even وَلِيَدَّبَّرُوا آيَاتِ means comprehend with the ayat of the Quran to apply it in yourself. That Allah said that, not me. So, but the key is not everybody. Now, we need, before we finish with the question here, with the advice here. Number one, two advices. One, husband and wife.
Husband and wife gotta stay with each other. They gotta.
No, I mean advice,
Yeah.
advice, and also son and daughter together, and how this relationship to fix it step by step by step. Please.
I think one of the biggest things that we need to do as a Muslim family,
Number one,
the husbands and wives, the brothers and sisters, even the grandparents, if the grandparents are still involved, we can't rule out grandparents, uncles, aunties, everybody who's involved in that family and that unit of family, to really kind of want to help each other and guide each other in an Islamic way. We have to have at least one or two people in that family that really understand the dynamic of Islamic values, right? If you're a father and mashallah, how many times we've gone into houses and they know hadiths and they know Quran, and mashallah, these dads are very smart, and they can out Quran me, mashallah. And I'm like, that's good. I'm glad for you. But are you practicing what you're preaching?
This is the key.
Right? And
exactly.
And so when we look at these things and we see, okay, mashallah, your kids memorize the Quran, but do they know what the Quran means? I don't have the Quran memorized, but I try to understand what these surahs mean, what these surahs understand. So when we go into these houses, we can say, yeah, the Quranic verse says this, but what does it mean? What does it mean to be a father?
Very important.
What does it mean to be a brother, a sister? So when you kind of dive down deep and understand and talk to the families on an individual basis and tell the sister how much control she has in that house. I don't think girls, daughters understand how much power they have. I don't think the sons understand how much power they control they have. So we don't explain that to our kids. Like, I'll explain to my son, if your mom's going out to a grocery store, you're going with her if I'm not there. Letting him understand that at a young age, you got to go with your mom.
Exactly, I agree with you. So, brother and sister in Sunnahfollowers, if you have any question on account, please, you can speak up and inshallah.
And so we live in this society that we think, independent woman and independence and independence and independence. There's a difference in Islamic religion. Why we have to make sure that my son goes with his daughter, with his sister. Why my son has to go with his mother. Why I have to go to make sure I go fill up the gas. There's a reason for these things that we do as men. And you explain to your kid at the age of 10, when you're teaching him how to pump the gas. I'm teaching you this because if dad's not here, you got to be the one that gets out of the car to put the gas. Your mom doesn't come out of the car.
Yeah. Even my wife. Yeah. I said, do not go out and let me with the gas. And let her never leave the car.
And see, we think it's, somebody will hear us and say, oh, that's sexism, that you guys are not letting your woman do these things. And
no,
it has nothing to do with
keep your honor.
It's honor.
Your wife, your son, your daughter is your honor.
And so when we explain these things to my kids and to all the kids, even the kids in the 8th graders, I tell them, you have to tell your mom, I'm gonna go put the gas.
Not you.
Yeah,
not all the kids doing that. Now the phone in the car and the mom with the gas.
Yeah. And so that's why I say, that's why I'm glad I do what I do when I go to these schools, because I don't think parents are really telling them the stuff that I'm telling them.
Yeah.
And I think that and it's not because I'm trying to show I'm better than you or it's because I feel like our kids are the next generation that's going to come up, and they're the ones that are going to be the ones leading the charge in Islam.
Yes, our kids, especially in America, is our leader in this country.
And so we talk about da'wah and we talk about all these things. A lot of times, we see these people put up a tent and they have Quran and Jesus as a Muslim and all the stuff that they do with the da'wah. I try to explain to the kids, we don't do that. That's not the way we do da'wah. We show the people what Islam is all about through our actions.
Action.
Right, through our actions. So when people see that your mom's sitting in the car and you're the one pumping gas, those people around you that are pumping the gas, the females that are out there pumping their own gas, are going to say, what is this?
That's honestly, brother. May Allah guide our kids.
Yeah,
as you just mentioned, we need maybe next week about the social media.
Yeah, social media is huge. It's a big thing.
I know. Me myself, and as a sheikh, also as a sheikh, I want to understand it me myself. I want to understand when somebody asks me this question, how to deal with this kind of problem. Everybody watching us in Sunnahfollowers in social media here, they have to understand the benefits of the social media, the disaster of the social media, positive and negative,
absolutely,
and how to deal with this if we facing this kind of problem. Okay?
Or when you face this problem, it's not if anymore; it's when.
When
Because even if it's
that's
not,
scary.
yeah, it's not if anymore.
Yes,
it's
there is
when.
no if. Yeah, there is when.
When.
But actually, it's to everyone, every household. For example, I watch the the news, especially what's going on in Gaza and the Muslim world. Rohingya, actually, people got killed in daily basis in the Rohingya. No one even hears about it.
Yeah.
No one here. My point was
because it's Muslim, that's why.
Muslims. Ya brother Mohammed. But inshallah, we need somebody to our. I wish Sunnahfollowers, your kids join us with that.
Sure.
With that, inshallah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll have 3 minutes actually. And final advice before the question coming, if there's a question.
If there's question, it's a tough. We're living in a society that's really hard on Muslims. Right?
Yes.
We've always talked about how we're not built for this world. Right? Muslims are not built for this world.
Indeed. Our life is temporary.
Our life is temporary. We know this in our heads. We know this. We understand it. We get it. We've taught this. Being in this country, being raised as a Muslim, we know that this isn't our world that we live in right now.
Indeed,
it's a test, and we're always being tested. Right? Everything that we do, from the moment we wake up to the moment we put our head down, is a test.
Indeed.
Right? Whether you pray 5 times a day, whether you what did you say to that person next to you? How did you react to your kids when they said something? How did your kids react to your parents? Right? Everything is a test that we're doing out here.
Yeah.
And so when we kind of put that into perspective as and try to teach our kids, it's a test. It's a test. Did you pass the test today? We're worried about your A's and your B's and your report cards, but did you get A's and B's in Islam?
Allah, I love this. The A in Islam better than B in public school.
And it's we as parents have to really believe this.
Yes, agree.
Because our kids are. I mean, then let's talk real. Our kids can tell when we're being genuine or when we're being fake. And if you're telling your kids to do something in Islamic values and teaching your kids Islamic values, but then as a parent you're doing the opposite, and you're telling your kids do this, but then you're doing the opposite.
Yeah, it's scary.
Our kids are going to see this. First of all, depending on the kid's age, they're going to get confused.
Yeah.
Well, Baba, you said this, but you're doing this. And then as the kids get older, they're going to say, well, my dad's a hypocrite. My mom's a hypocrite. She says this. And we see that a lot in the other religions, right? When we talk to other people in other cultures and other religions, they'll say, well, my mom is this, but then they do this. My mom's a Christian, but I see her going out to the clubs and drinking with her friends. On Saturday, they're drinking, but then on Sunday, they're in church. So I left that religion because of this. Well, what do you think our kids are going to do?
Yeah.
If they're seeing our parents saying, pray 5 times a day, but then you're not praying. If you're telling your kids fast, you got to fast, you got to do it you go to Ramadan, and then they catch you smoking a cigarette.
You failed.
You failed as a parent.
You failed as a parent.
What do you expect your children, our next generation to do if they're watching this?
So may Allah guide our kids and our parents.
Yeah, I mean,
may Allah guide the parents and the kids and all the Muslim Ummah, Ya Rab. We stop here, brother and sister, regarding 9 o'clock. And may Allah Jazak al khair, brother Mohammed, for everyone. And please, brother and sister, join us next week. And the speaker is honestly, I just told brother Mohammed, I wish actually accept that to speak about the benefits of the social media and the negativity of social media.